Hey guys, I'm Shane and I'm a communication coach, and I've taught over thousands of different clients and helped them to make an impact with how they speak and to start speaking with more vocal clarity and to start feeling more comfortable with the character and who they are in English. Let's get started. Okay, so today we're talking about English articles. We're going to look at one, we're going to look at the vocabulary, we're going to discuss it, we're going to go through it together and make sure you understand it clearly and that you understand all the different nuances within the vocabulary of this article. Okay, let's take a look. So I'm going to read the first paragraph and then I'm going to dissect the vocabulary and then we're going to continue and talk about it. Okay, so the title of this one is "The Best Way to Get Around a Difficult Problem: Do Nothing About It." I think a lot of you would be thinking that probably doesn't sound like the best way to deal with the problem. Typically with a problem, you should maybe be quite proactive rather than just do nothing and hope that it resolves itself. When you are thinking about solving problems, it typically requires action so that we can overcome them. So quite an interesting title, and let's take a look and see what this journalist Gabby Hinsliff is talking about. Okay, so it says here, from Agatha Christie doing the dishes to the cancer surgeon inspired at the theatre, an idling brain suddenly seems to be able to join the dots. So an idling brain here, so idling, it means that it's not actually moving, but it's just kind of working in the background. So think of a car when it's driving, it's moving forwards, but when it's idling, it just means the engine's on, but it's not actually moving in any direction. So in this case, an idling brain, there's something going on there, but you're not actively thinking about it. Okay, so let's take a look at the first paragraph. So if you really want to solve a problem, try doing nothing about it. Fold some laundry, stir a risotto, go for a run, watch a film, try to entertain someone else's baby. Anything that involves pottering about in an undemanding yet still vaguely engaged way, which absolutely couldn't be classed as work, but isn't totally vegetative either. It may not be the productivity hack any go-getter wants to hear, but it's surprising how often a spell of aimless noodling around frees an otherwise overworked human brain to make the kind of lateral mental leap that helps everything fall into place. I'm not just saying that to justify New Year's Day spent lying hungover on the sofa, ploughing through the last of the Christmas cheese. Okay, lots of vocabulary here, so let's go and take a look. So when she's at first just giving some examples of things that you can be doing when you are not actively focusing on the problem, but you are just doing other things. So subconsciously your mind is starting to think about the problem, but it's in the back of your mind, it's not in this active engaged part. Okay, so go for a run, watch a film, entertain someone else's baby. These are some examples. She then uses here the term pottering about. So to potter, this is a verb, it means to do something slowly and without a specific intention or goal. So if you are pottering about, it means you are just going slowly. You are doing something without having to actually solve the problem, or you are not so focused on it. It's just something you are kind of, we also have another word, moseying. You're moseying about, you're pottering about, you're kind of just doing things but with no real focus or intention. Okay, so next is talking about doing something vaguely engaged. So if you are vaguely engaged, it's this idea where you are not fully engaged. So let's say this is fully and this is not engaged at all. Vaguely, you're somewhere in the middle. Yeah, so you are engaged, but you are not using all of your mind's capacity. Okay, so next we're looking at this word vegetative. So it's classed as work, but isn't totally vegetative. So vegetative is an adjective that just means like a vegetable. So sometimes when we talk about being in a vegetative state, it means doing nothing, just laying on the sofa, completely not thinking about anything and just trying to unwind and recharge. This is a vegetative state. We also use this in terms of hospitals. So if someone is in a terrible accident and they can't move their body, we can say that they're in a vegetative state. Okay, so let's take a look at another word here. So we have productivity hack. This is a term that I think a lot of people would be curious to know about. So a productivity hack is something that you can do in your life that helps you. So typical examples of productivity hacks are anything that's like a shortcut that helps you to do something faster. So in the kitchen is typically, there's so many examples for productivity hacks of like how to make ice cream faster, like how to cook the food faster, like how to serve the meal faster. Like these are all different hacks. In the office, there's also lots, like in terms of how do you get to a website faster. Like AI could be an example of a productivity hack, how it can summarize an email for you and send it. So these are all examples, anything that helps you to get the job done faster. Okay, next one, a go-getter. So if someone is a go-getter, this is someone who is very determined, and they are very active in their approach to solve problems. So if you are a go-getter, you are someone that just wants to get the job done, and you are very motivated and determined to do it, and you constantly want to finish your work, you're always maybe asking for more, you don't need to be told and encouraged to do something. You just go and do it. So this type of person is called a go-getter. Okay. We use another term here, noodling around. So a spell of noodling around. So first of all, a spell. So a spell of something, it just means a period of time. And then aimless noodling around. Noodling around was similar to pottering around and moseying around. It's funny how many different ways there are to explain this. And yeah, they all pretty much mean a similar thing, but they just have different styles. So noodling is kind of like a funny way of saying it. So again, this idea of being a noodle, being flat and like not really, like being quite passive in your intention, not being too active in the way that you're doing something. Okay. So yeah, overworked, kind of lateral mental leap. Yeah, it's interesting. So when we talk about thinking, you know, we think about always having to be active and engaged, but what they're talking about in this article is about how just taking time for yourself and just relaxing is actually going to really help. So, you know, the brain has two cycles. You have a period for 90 minutes where you can be active and you can be focused, but then there's another period where you need to rest for, let's say, 20-30 minutes so that your brain can, you know, re-energize, recharge, and then you can go back to focus on your work. So a lateral mental leap, lateral just means to the side instead of forwards or back. So if you do something laterally in your brain, it's talking about how the connections in your mind are connecting. Okay, so this is an expression that we use in English. We hope that everything falls into place. So if everything falls into place, it means everything works as it should. So when you're trying to solve a problem, there are lots of different factors, lots of different elements, you know, in your mind. So when we use the expression, we hope everything falls into place, it means that everything aligns and we solve it, we figure it out. Yeah, you know, and we talk about this with like plans, situations. You know, if you're going on holiday, you hope everything falls into place. It's like you book the hotel, you book the plan, you book the trip, but everything needs to work together so that there are no delays or obstacles or problems. So you can hope that everything falls into place with your plans. Okay. Another one here is to justify something. So here she's talking about to justify a New Year's Day spent lying hungover on the sofa. So hungover, as you know, is you drink too much alcohol, and the next day is that fuzzy feeling you have in your mind. We call it the hangover. And to justify something is sometimes we say that we have to justify our actions, right? So if you choose to just lay on the sofa all day, you maybe will feel lazy and you feel like it's not justified, like maybe you haven't earned it. So we sometimes use this word to justify an action. It means like, do you deserve it? Is it intentional? Is it something that you planned, or are you just being lazy? Okay. And then the next one, plowing through the last of the Christmas cheese. So to plow is typically actually used in terms of a snow plow. So a snow plow is what will come and like take the snow, and then, you know, they will put salt on the roads, and this is a way to de-ice the roads. So a snow plow. So to plow through something, it means to take a large amount and then remove it. So if you talk about plow through the last of the Christmas cheese, this is a more idiomatic way to say take all the cheese and eat it all. So it's quite a funny way of being able to actually explain that. So, you know, even in just one paragraph, you know, is really crazy, you know, how much vocabulary is really there. And, you know, this is a high level article, so they're discussing lots of things. So what I'd recommend is that you use this paragraph just as a base, you know, for then you to take a look yourself at the remaining parts of the article, and yeah, try to take a look at the vocabulary, try to understand all of it, especially a lot of the nuances, and use this as a way to develop your vocabulary. Second of all, I'd recommend giving a summary. So if you're able to summarize some of this information when you get to the end, that's a really good sign of your language level and that you're actually really able to to think about what this article's talked about, and then to be able to communicate in English what you said. So yeah, if you are looking to develop your English, you want to start speaking more precisely, you want to develop vocabulary, you want to start speaking more naturally, you want to start making an impact in the workplace, then you can head to VALLHO.com. That's VALLHO. So VALLHO is an English communication platform that's designed to help you to reach that next level, so you can start standing out at work, start feeling more natural, more comfortable, and you'll receive a tailored, personalized plan that's going to help you to figure out how you can get to that next step with some of our great coaches over at VALLHO. So I hope you found this useful, guys. I'll see you next time.